And call this to order. Pledge of allegiance.
Look just like that then.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start with roll call. Brent?
Here.
Guy?
Here.
Ken?
Here.
Nate?
Here.
And Jeff is here. I did not see any public comment signed up, so we will move past that, and we will start with a student council update. You're good?
So just the Friday before Christmas, everyone watched movies. Student council gave out cookies and hot chocolate, made by Addison and Henry. So
What was the event?
Christmas, the day before, yeah, Friday before, because no one really wants to do school, so we just say we're doing school and watch a movie.
I like it. What do you have upcoming?
We have Earth Day cleanup.
Yeah, Earth Day. We decided not to do a dance, so we're not planning that.
And then we're having a meeting next week to decide what we're doing next, so.
It's okay, girls, short and sweet.
Very good.
Girls.
The other person's better over there.
And then also we're here to talk about, we're running a blood cancer fundraiser for Blood Cancer United.
This is our Celebrate Fall River.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Natalie and I are the candidates for it, and we are like the leaders of the group, where we have 12 people in our group now, where we're working for 7 weeks to raise as much money as we can for blood cancer. And we're competing against other schools in Wisconsin, like around the Madison area, and we're just trying to make as much money as possible. Ours is patient support, so anything you can think, like helping the patients get through having, like, it's obviously a really hard time, so we're doing patient support. And we're having a soup supper on January 27th, from 5 until 7:30, and it's the night of a basketball game, a girls' game against Partyville. So if anyone wants to come out and get some soup and then desserts as well, we would love that. And then
We're also having a cheesecake fundraiser at the dump too, so.
we're not sure on the date yet for that. I think that's it.
You'll have to buy some of my soup I'm making.
If you're looking for money for Tony, you should probably go back and talk to the Fendorf guys. No.
Is that, as were you?
You're good. Thank you so much for the
And I made
updates.
treats that are on the table.
Awesome.
Son of a gun.
Got a nice little precedence going here, Nate.
Not to come.
Thank
See
you.
you
Enjoy
later.
practice.
Good luck at practice. Don't break a leg.
All right, so moving on to section 6, so we have a new format of the agenda as approved in, I think, last month's board policies. We now have the addition of a consent agenda. So in the consent agenda, we have both the school board minutes and the payroll and vouchers. So in our packet for this month, we had both the minutes from the previous month meeting, as well as the line item details for both payroll and vouchers. So I will give you a second in case anyone hasn't reviewed that, but otherwise I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll put a motion forward, Jeff, to approve the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion by Ken. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye. Aye. All those opposed. And you don't get to hear me say numbers. All right, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
I'll make this really short. On the main sheet, nothing really much different from other months, but if you notice, at this point last year, we had spent 35% of our budget. At this point this year, we've spent 35% of our budget. So we're pretty much on track. We're consistent.
Awesome.
Very good. Any questions for Dennis? All right, hearing none, I will take a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion by Guy. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. And gifts and donations.
Couple donations this month, Matthew Gawker donated some money to the CTE department, and then he also made a donation for the boys and girls basketball team dinners that they will be having. PPO donated 5th to 8th grade band books. Mr. Keller, did you want to add anything to that, the band books that were donated?
I went to my music convention back in October, and I learned about this new book series, and it's a new book series that it sounds really interesting, the way that it works. It actually works with making big sticker charts for the kids, and especially 5th grade, moving through middle school, it really works with Mrs. Schroeder and what she does. So I'm connecting back with what they're doing in elementary general music to what I'm doing in 5th grade band through middle school. And I've got the books on order. I'm still waiting for them to arrive. I have a couple of them, and for the students that have started working through the books, they're super self-motivated because they want to progress further. They want to go through the sticker chart and whatnot and get farther than others. So there's a little competition too. Seems to be going well.
It's amazing what stickers will do. All right, we will now move on to committee reports and Building and Grounds Committee having met at 5:15 today. Anything you guys want to highlight?
No, well, I guess, a few things. Obviously, Findorf is here tonight, with all the pricing and stuff from, the bids. We're where we're supposed to be. Really, other than that, nothing out of the ordinary, pretty straightforward. Is there anything that you want to say
You know,
more?
just to give you a highlight of the costs and where we are
Yeah.
for all the different pieces, and you'll have another sheet that I'll talk about just a little bit here tonight too, while we're tracking costs.
Yeah. So, pretty straightforward.
Very good, thank you. And with that, excited to have Findorf here to give us an update on the referendum.
Well, good evening, everybody. Got here early, worked to get this. So, all right. Well, here to present a little bit on how the bids and how things came in with Fall River. We'll get to it, you'll see it, it's exciting news, so that's one thing. But let's just start off with a quick. It's not gonna do it, there we go. Some things I was gonna just touch base, we're gonna do a quick introduction for myself. This is the first time that I've met most of you. Of course, I know the school district there, but I also will touch base. We do have a couple other Findorf people who didn't know if they were gonna be here. We'll talk about this project schedule update, when is the timeline of construction to start, when we're looking to finish up, of course, for school. We'll also we had PRA, they put together a 14-minute video with a design update that really kind of had Molly from PRA go through and kind of try to highlight some of the things that might have changed over the last 3 to 6 months as we were getting into the construction documents. Bidding and project update, and then community student engagement, when I talk about that, we're talking about maybe getting the students involved, what can we do in the classroom, what can we do outside the classroom that can help your teachers to kind of get excitement about the project. But then we do have some people that live in town. Josh Paging is one of them. He's pretty excited to come in and kind of do some virtual reality teaching for the classes. So we'll talk about that. Next steps, what's going to happen over the next month, and then if there's any questions and answers, the questions that you have. So again, my name is Matt Primo, Project Executive. I did over here, we do have Aaron Zutz, who most of you already met, Director at Findorf, and Scott Coyne in the back. He's going to be our project engineer. He'll be kind of with our superintendent the day-to-day, boots on the ground, making sure things happen exactly how the plans go. So schedule. So we've gone in through design. We've got the bids in. We got a number that we'll get to that we're within the project budget, which is exciting. So right now, what we've been coordinating with, the teachers, Ryan from the CTE program, when can he get, when is the time that we need to take over? So April 1st is our date that we're going to start construction. We're going to mobilize over spring break. So we'll set up fencing while everybody's gone, get our trailer here, kind of get things set. Our first thing that we'll have to do is really move that old chiller out of the way so we can start building footing. So it'll be that first week while spring break is just getting everything set so that there's no confusion when students come back. We've shared these plans with the district, but we'll meet with depending on how the district would like, we'll meet with the students, we'll meet with staff to make sure that they understand it, that they feel comfortable where where we're gonna be during the day and where we're not gonna be during the day. And then renovations, so that's the addition that will start in April, but then once school's out, we have to do some abatement. There are a lot of moving of owner furniture, but then we'll start writing in the renovations of the existing building and move that all the way to August. I think our schedule has August 25th or August 20th. That's end date. I can get that exactly, but be right in time for school. But hitting these dates are key, but everything is looking good. You know, we have a lot of good information with the bids coming in that we can kind of go to next. Uh-oh. That didn't happen last time. Oh, we're gonna go into the design update. So this is a 14-minute video, and pretty sure we got it working, so let me see if the sound. So again, Miley Ryan from PRA.
Hello, Fall River team. This is Molly Ryan from PRA. I'm sorry that we couldn't be there tonight to provide you with the design update, but we did want to just send a video to you just so that you can kind of see what we've been up to now that we've closed out our construction documents phase of work. So I will share my screen so that you can see some of the visuals that I'll share with you today. All right, the slide on the screen right now is a slide that you've seen before. This was just the initial slide that we had shown to communicate the initial referendum scope of work for the $9.85 million. As you can see, we are including safe and secure entry renovation, ag, CTE, and classroom addition and renovation, emergency generator, repairs to the pool, and other capital maintenance. So as we go along in the presentation today, I just want you to pay attention to this key that we have indicated on the middle of the slide here, showing addition in that clay rose color, heavy renovation in the gold, medium renovation in green, and some modest light renovation in that light blue. So the next slide shows an update of the final scope of work as the core team and the PRA team and Findorf team have been working together on throughout the past year. And we're showing the CTE, ag, and art scope of work to the top of the page here, and then the safe and secure entry renovation to the bottom of the page. So we'll jump into some detail as we zoom in here. For ag, CTE, and art, we'll start with. As we all are aware, we are moving art out of their existing spaces, as you can see here, and transforming those areas into CTE. So that CTE is growing quite a bit just to be able to house more programming and safer programming for your district. So zooming in to the Clean Lab, you can see that we are providing access to the addition and the Clean Lab via your existing egress corridor. So this is kind of the connection piece to the CTE area of the building. This area of the building will also house lockers and storage for student projects within your CTE program. And with the entry into the Clean Lab off of that corridor there, we see that we've got that existing art room space utilized for Clean Lab. We've got casework over on the southeast or southwest side of that space, as well as providing a single-user toilet room and then some storage off of the corridor. Then we have access from that Clean Lab space into classroom space, also part of your existing art room, as well as the existing industrial technology classroom to the left there. As you can see, the idea between all these CTE spaces is to provide as much access and visibility as we possibly can, just so that throughout the school day, teachers have eyes on students for, of course, being able to guide the students, answer questions, and also just keep in mind student safety. So then moving to the north, we have access through that classroom to your existing Woods Lab, Now we are renovating this area of work to provide sort of a better layout of equipment and things like that, as well as you'll see in the image that we'll show in a moment here, we're providing some natural daylight into the space, the wood space, via this exterior wall, some windows up high. And then, moving to the addition, we've got our metals and autos lab. So as you can see, we have 2 autos lifts on the top side of the space here. And then moving over to the bottom right-hand corner over here, we've got our welding stations. So these welding stations will be much more appropriate in size for students and teachers, allowing for much better safety and the ability to be able to kind of work side by side if needed. So teachers will be more easily to have the option to demo with students and kind of have that side by side work being able to happen there. And then in the upper right-hand corner, we have our animal and aquaculture lab. So this will sort of be a flexible space throughout the year, depending on what's going on programming-wise. But wanted to mention that we are providing an overhead door into that space from the exterior of the building, and then also showing overhead doors, of course, into the autos lab. So it's important to mention that these doors will, of course, be locked throughout the school day for safety of students and teachers. And then just to mention this other area of addition, if you will, we've got the relocation of your trash enclosure. So we are removing the trash enclosure from the kind of front side of your building on the west side and just kind of concealing it a little bit better from view. All right. One more area of heavy renovation that I don't think I have mentioned yet is just the renovation of these multi-user toilet rooms off of your existing corridor. So these these bathroom spaces will become much larger and have a lot better accessibility for users of the building. And then we also have some additional storage space that will be able to be accessed from your existing corridor. Moving on to art, as we move art out of their existing space into their new spaces, we are providing a much more efficient layout for the art teacher. Of course, providing different spaces as she currently has right now for 2D art and 3D art. So we've got the ability to traverse between these 2 classroom spaces very easily, as well as providing glass, again, for visibility, the same as we mentioned before for CTE. Storage is located in the middle of these 2 spaces, so she's got much better, efficient, bigger storage space for both of her classroom areas. And then in 3D art, we've got room for 6 pottery wheels, and then of course the kiln room. All right, one more area of work I wanted to mention here is the green medium renovation for these classroom spaces. So there are some modest changes that are happening that will address egress of these spaces, as well as some finish upgrades and then furniture. So we are updating furniture as much as we can throughout the existing building to provide updates in that area. I don't think I mentioned one more thing above the addition over here, above the animal and aquaculture lab and welding. That will be the area that will be a mezzanine for storage and mechanical. Just wanted to mention that before we move on to the next area of work. And then just to look at a quick visual here of the new addition, you can see your existing building on the right side, and then new addition on the left. We are matching your existing brick as best as we can, and then also providing some darker metal panel accents. As you can see, we are replacing some equipment for CTE as well, and then you kind of see in this area over here, those windows I've mentioned before to allow some natural daylight into that woods lab. Okay, moving on to secure entrance. You can see heavy and medium renovation here in the yellow and green. And I did just want to mention that as the core group and our teams work together, we had looked at many, many different options for a secure entrance. We wanted to kind of weigh the pros and cons of all the different options that we had come up with, both as it related to the cost, of course, but also to the goal of creating that monitored and controlled entry sequence that best worked for your district. So this was the final solution that we had come up with. And to kind of walk you through it here, we did have to take one of your first offices in your main office here to provide more space for reception and just a better experience for visitors throughout the day, as well as the ability to have that checkpoint before letting them into the rest of the building. So as you can see here, we have a vestibule that's to the north, if you will, and a vestibule that's to the south. So this vestibule to the south is dedicated solely to visitors throughout the day. The vestibule to the north, with all of the doors that you can see there, is more so for student access at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So I believe I explained this the last time that we had met, but the idea behind a safe and secure entrance is to have all your exterior doors locked down throughout the school day, and for all visitors to have to come in through a dedicated sequence to check in at reception. So students would be able to enter into these doors at the beginning of the day and exit throughout these doors at the end of the day. Those are the only times that those doors will be unlocked. And then, as I mentioned before, visitors will come in through this vestibule just to the other side and will come in through locked doors that will have to be manually buzzed in and allowed access by the secretaries. That will then come into the main reception area where they will have to check in, get a visitor's pass, and then be buzzed out into the rest of the building to have access to everything else. So as you can see here, we are keeping the secretary desks as they are in the existing area that you have over here, at least the layout of those desks, keeping that transaction window there, but providing an area where people can visit can check in and visit over in this vestibule right above the other side of that office space. So the way that looks here, let's zoom out a little bit. This is just a perspective view from your existing secretary desk area to show how that looks and how we have very clear visibility for visitors coming into that visitor's vestibule. And then that opening of that office space over there really allows for a much more inviting, open area for visitors to come into, as well as secretaries to operate from. So, as I explained before, the main idea here is just to provide much more dedicated checkpoints for monitoring visitors as they come in throughout the day, while also allowing the separation of students coming into the office from the main portion of the building. So if you have any questions, hopefully the Findorff team is able to answer any of them since they are in person. But if you do have any other questions that cannot be answered, please just provide me with an email or ask Dennis or Jennifer or the rest of the team to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
I think the only thing else I'd add is on the outside site work, we are including redoing the whole parking lot in the back and also the church parking lot. So the grades back there will get different. It'll be a much bigger parking lot that you guys would have access to. I know Brian's been, and the team has been working hard on that. But I just thought the site, there's not a lot, but it's just a big new parking lot that's out there with the dust collector. So let's get into one thing I just here to do. Down the corner when it says- There we go. I just wanted to put up a quick slide, just identify again the referendum budget, total referendum, 9.85. Just so it's more of a refresher for you guys. Nothing too much to go on that. So what we did in December, we got the plans, we sent them out to bid. We had about, I think, 300 bidders that we sent it out to. We had a really good response, especially in the MVPs. I mean, plumbing had four different, plumbing, electrical had 6. I think also electrical, HVAC had 4. So I was happy about the amount of excitement that we got with the bidding market. So that really drove though, because from our construction budget, we're under 3% of our overall budget right now. So it's really good news for you guys. We hit the budget below it. We have some room to play. There's going to be some things that the team, we're going to keep on looking at stuff as we go through, but pretty exciting day for bid day. I was really happy to come to that meeting. The next thing is I know that Dennis has put out the subcontract list budget submitted to you guys. I believe you reviewed it before. That's just a list of all the bidders that we got on the trade packages, and then we highlighted in yellow the ones that we recommend going forward. Maybe more discussion on that as we go. And then what we're looking for tonight is, just approval for our FinDOT to actually award those contracts. We've been waiting until you guys have a chance to look at it. Once we get the approval from you guys, we'll start contracting with all those contractors that we have that you've seen and start really preparing. That's what Scott and I will be doing, getting what we call submittals. We have the contract documents. We need to make sure we put exactly what those contract documents show. We get submittals, work with PRA, work with the team here, and then start really running on April 1st. And then the next thing is, as we finalize that, we'll come back with a guaranteed maximum price, where there will be an official signature for that. But as we're going through, there's little things, as I said before, we were looking at some electrical scope that maybe now we have to work with the design team to see if there's some value engineering that we can do there that could reduce that scope. So we're going to be working over the next 2 to 3 weeks to finalize that number and then come back with a final number. But we'll be able to get going on all the things we need to do to hit the April 1st deadline to start. Student community engagement. Worked with Dennis and the team. We were thinking that we could plan for Thursday, March 26th. Groundbreaking is just before spring break, so hopefully then people aren't out, have left. We'll have the event and then we'll start really mobilizing the following Monday through that. So we'll start planning that, but that's the date at this point that they picked. And then what I'd like to say, student engagement, I mentioned it before. Some of the things that we'd really like to do is, this is a really cool addition with the CTE program. It's what we're excited about construction. This is one of the pieces there. We have people that can come in and help. If there's anything that the teachers would like to do, a presentation, we'd like to do that. If there's some things that we can do during the summer, with summer school, we're going to be looking at that. We'll, of course, work with the school district to make sure that those are appropriate things that they'd like. But that's what we're going to want to try to do as we go through this process in the spring, and then even in the summer with summer school. Next steps, as I mentioned, if we get the approval to move forward, we'll be contracting all those subcontractors you see. We'll be starting to write contracts, getting those submittals in to get them approved through PRA and the school district. And then we'll be mobilizing over spring break, getting geared up for that new addition. And I just put it again as just Thursday, March 26th, if you put it in your calendar. We'll have an event that should be pretty fun to get some excitement going into the program. I think next is questions. Is there anything I can answer you from? I'll try to do the design portion as best as I can. We know the plans pretty well, but anything that I can help answer at this moment.
We're losing the principal's office, and, okay. All right.
And that's
We're
something
losing the
that
principal's office, and you're going to stay where you're at, or are you going to move somewhere else? Obviously,
I might
Dr.
steal
Truman.
somebody else's. There might be a little shuffling going on.
Okay.
So we're currently kind of talking about what would that look like depending on who meets with students and larger groups of students.
Okay.
The front entrance to me doesn't look like a free, it comes through 2 buzzing doors that you have to get through. Doesn't that seem to be overkill with instead of having one buzz door to come in and then buzz them in so they can get into the school? Because it's a lot for a secretary to deal with all day long.
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, sure.
So basically what our goal was to try to have as many people not coming in from that first buzz door as possible. So there will be a pass-through window, so if you're coming in to drop off Susie's lunch, you can just hand it to Sue through the pass-door window and you don't even have to come into the office at all. Lunch money or something like that, pass it right through, gym shoes, things like that. So it would just be those people that need to get into the building would be buzzed in that second time.
So then the doors are still gonna be open in the morning with nobody standing outside and,
Oh, no, we have people outside and in the hallway.
We've always got people outside.
okay? Like, what do you mean outside? By the doors?
Outside
By the buses.
by the buses that come out on that sidewalk.
Jennifer, if I could add, I think what we're seeing in the office is we look at a lot of schools throughout Wisconsin, it's a very standard sequence. So the sequence of doors and the way it's laid out is quite typical for pretty much any new school or renovation of an office at this point in time.
It's kind of the industry standard right
Yes.
now.
Yeah. So then lunchtime, they're gonna be locked now, or what? Or are they unlocked for the hour that they're during lunch?
So right now, the doors are locked even currently during lunch and they get buzzed in. But we have somebody out there, I mean, there's somebody right there watching. So I'm envisioning them coming through, you know, one of us or an aide being there to help with that. We don't have a ton of traffic coming in and out at lunch as much as we did before.
I don't know. So I mean, losing the office is gonna be huge, I just think, because we're losing the whole office and we're already cramming for spots.
Well, this year we did move Abby out of the front offices to create a space for Maria. And now Maria's position is not gonna be there, so the number of people in the front office this year and next year will be the same.
Yeah.
Because we got Abby out of the front offices. That was kind of in preparation.
Yep.
We tried to see if we could do this without losing an office. We really, I think I pushed for that until I gave up. It just didn't work.
Yeah, and that was gonna be my comment. Obviously, these all look really clean, but, you know, having been part of a lot of the detail, I mean, so many of these was version 7. I mean, we went through every option of every room, and then it took a couple weeks, and there was lots of administrative meetings, so I mean, it's not like we were just like, that looks good. You know, like, every one of those was battled through, from the when does the flooring start to where's this machine gonna go, and so, I mean, there was quite a bit of work that went through. We had, you know, every 2 weeks we had checkpoints that I got to see, but, you know, I got to hear the progress from, you know, every fortnight. So, yeah, I know a lot of work went into the final drawings.
Well, I appreciate the time you put in on it, Jeff, because I thought, besides losing the office, I think it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
looks
looks
real
like-
nice.
Yeah, it was cool to see the 3D, you know, just
Yeah.
kinda,
Really nice.
yeah.
We went to other
Help you
schools,
visualize
talked
it.
with other administrators and office personnel, and just tried to find out, you know, what works for you, what's not working for you, how does this, you know. And so one of the things that was kind of the last thing was that actual pass-through window, where now we're, you know, unless you really have something to come in for during the day when kids are there.
Most basketball games I've gone to the last 2 years, I've looked at how they enter.
Yeah.
And almost every time I go to a game, this is really pretty typical. During the game, we don't go through that door, we all just come in and out, but you can see where this looks kind of like what most of them do.
I didn't hear the pass-through door window thing, that's why.
Yeah.
That adds up, that helps a lot.
I'm one of those parents that my kids are always forgetting something.
Chromebook.
Is there a hourly rate for like change orders, if there's prep or if there's something else?
In our main contract, there was rates that were set
Okay.
in the AI contract, so that's for.
Is that for
the
everyone,
indoor-
or is it like plumbers,
It's for
electricians,
Vipner.
everybody's different?
The plumbing and electrician, they have a hard bid, so basically they have the hard bid number. There, I believe we have it in the spec that says that they can't take anything more than 7.5% fee on it. So there are pieces that are in there. We can ask for rates too, but the Findorf portion says when we self-perform, those rates were all in the front contract that we signed earlier, so.
Okay. And the submittals, how long from the time that they're awarded to the time the submittals will be in? Like, you guys don't have you have your own Procore.
Yeah.
So that will be something that's visible to Dennis?
Yes,
Or-
actually, we
or
have Brian
Dennis and Brian.
and Jennifer
I have it on
already
my
in it.
computer as well.
So they can see all the submittals that go,
Okay.
and if they want to, and also, of course, all of them that approve. Because we want them to actually, we want everybody, if they want to see them, to be able to take a look at them. Finishes are, of course, one thing that's always, you gotta get the school district's perspective to make sure it's the right finishes, so that's pretty much everybody's in there, but like the chiller, most likely I'm gonna make sure Brian takes a look at it. We've worked with, right now, on the board, like, NAMI's there, that we've talked about lead time, it's about 3 weeks for submittal, and then 10 weeks for the actual chiller itself. So we worked that into the schedule, knowing that we can hit it, so all of our big equipment should be arriving in middle of May,
Okay.
so.
So like with the electrical, with a VE, do you go back to the other subcontractors about the VE, or now you're just working separately with the awarded
Now
contractor?
we're just working separately with the awarded contractor. And basically, we need to vet those things with the design team to make sure that, right, everybody has good intentions, but maybe there's something they're not looking, can we actually do it or not? So that's why that portion, as I said, it's gonna ebb and flow a little bit over the next couple of weeks. We gotta make sure that all those checks and balances are in there before we say, go ahead with that portion.
Do you share that with the other contractors, that there was a VE or there was something there in case there was something interpreted?
We have called all the contractors and told them where, like, pretty much overall where they're at and different things, and I made sure that it's we call it apples to apples, like, hey, you're bidding at the same time, that's the biggest thing that we start. If it was so, we could do it, but it's a voluntary alternate, so it was kind of one of those things that
Right.
they thought about it.
Yep.
So that's why we couldn't take it on day one, just because you gotta be permanent inspected.
Yep, absolutely.
Can the board, can you refresh my memory how we're handling the change orders? If there's change orders? Did we vote on that already, or did we decide that?
I don't remember on change orders. I know we empowered we empowered building and, sorry, we empowered administration, and then.
Dennis.
Yeah, and then anything above that would go to building and grounds, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe before it gets to that point, maybe we should talk about that more. If there is a price, I don't remember the price. We can go
Yeah.
back and, I think that was that October?
Yeah, there was
We
a
talked
price,
about-
we can go back and look at it.
Yeah, go back, I think, I'd have to look at my notes, but I think maybe it was October that we talked about that in building and grounds.
Andrea can maybe dig through and find
I
that.
can look back on that.
And what it is, just so we're all on the same page, so.
Yeah.
We've talked about
Our
that.
goal will be not to have things like, they do have to move and stuff like that, so we wanna make sure that process is set for you guys, so that we're following
Well,
everything you need.
Will we know submittal-wise what the square foot rate is for labor and for materials, and if there is change orders, what that is going to
We'd be
be?
evaluating the change orders and bringing that to the district, saying either we agree with it or don't agree with it.
Okay,
We didn't particularly ask for rates in the MEP bid, but we can ask for them as we're doing contracts.
okay.
So, because no one has been awarded the project yet until
Yep.
we get through this meeting.
Yeah.
Anything else that I can help to answer?
No, just so everybody knows, I mean, obviously, all the new business items are very specific. We have to approve the bids tonight, so we'll go through those in
Yep.
detail, but yeah, I don't know, I appreciate you coming and, yeah.
No, thank you so much for letting us present, and pretty excited for it. I mean, this is a really cool project that's gonna be fun to get that excitement going with the students, with the staff, and, come up at the end of the summer. So it's gonna be fun to see what kind of equipment's in there, and just see how the students react when they get to it. It's gonna be fun.
I think, from the beginning, Aaron, Aaron's obviously been here much longer, or through the entire project, but just everything from Aaron at Findorf, Matt, yourself coming in now, it's hard to have a project and then the handoff and everything else. So that's all great. PRA's been fantastic. I mean, I'm excited. I think you guys have done a fantastic job, with everything up to this point. It's pretty transparent, as to what we're getting into, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, yeah.
We appreciate it.
From the construction side, knowing something about construction, it's certainly a different view, and it's certainly eye-opening, so.
All right, well, thank you for that. That was a good one. So we will move on to new business and get a little bit more tactical. So we will start with the chiller options.
I'll begin this, then Brian will probably jump in a bunch. Is that okay? Okay. The cooling of the building during the summer is important. We look at summer school, we look at the gyms, the offices. We've all had, it's nowadays where schools are air conditioned. And in the bids, they had $91,000 to rent a temporary chiller. It would be less than that, probably, we had $76,200. If we use our existing chiller that we have, that's, it's on its last legs, and it's not gonna, we need a new one, but that is possible that could cool the building. And the third option was probably not air conditioning, but have dehumidifiers. Yeah, and that would have a cost over the summer probably too.
Yeah, it would be, around the $20,000 to $25,000 range, just to, you're gonna have multiple spikes. There's gonna be a little bit of noise too, right? Because they're gonna be running during the day. We wanna make sure that the humidity's down so it doesn't damage any of the wood or any of the books that's there. So it'd be multiple throughout the area that the kids are working, but it is an option to be able to do that.
So, and that's material enough, we wanted the board's opinion on this for this summer, because it's part of the bid. Brian, you wanna go into more detail on it?
I would promote a $76,000 option if it's possible. And the reason is I think it's definitely gonna make our building, what's left, able to be occupied, more usable. And especially, my biggest concern is gym spaces, to be honest. But with fans going and dehumidifiers, I know you guys do a good job. But if we're gonna try to hold summer school and summer gym programs and such, and I think it gives us the highest level, protecting the building that's there as well, that we would try to use that chiller that's left. We put forward, when the hookups for that $76,000 only use half of it, and that would use the half that's the newest compressors and has the best level of success for that few months that we would use that, and basically use our chiller up probably.
So we wanted your opinion on this. I know a couple of good people have been in on these discussions already, but want your thoughts before we move forward?
Yeah, I'll start with mine, again, having been in on some of the conversations, but, I think humidity is important right now, right? So I don't want that to be an issue. I also think we're choosing to have summer school in the school while it's under construction, and so I do think having air conditioning is important for that. I know when the air conditioning wasn't working that well, they had a high school basketball game, and they ended up calling the game and just walking off because the floor was so slippery. The boys were about to get injured, and so you start thinking about having kids playing around in gym class with slippery floors, and so that was just, that kind of led me towards, yes, we should have air conditioning instead of fans. And then when I thought about the tactical item from the board perspective, I agree that we should use the chiller that we have and kind of push it through its last leg. However, there's a chance that doesn't work. So I think the board, if I were to make a recommendation, it would be to approve the 91, but recommend the 76. Basically, recommend using the chiller that we have if we can. And if we can't, like for some reason it doesn't work, then we can go ahead and just rent one for that summer month, or summer season, sorry.
Where are we taking the money from?
It's already part of, so even with that, we're still under budget for the whole thing. So it's basically part of the contingency.
Of the 250 that's left, you're saying?
That's after, so I think that 250 includes 91. So that 250 assumes that we've taken 91 to rent the chiller. So that 250 goes up to 270 if we can use the chiller that we have. But yeah, that number's already post.
We'll wrap it, bubble wrap when we do it.
That's our sweetest thing.
Well, I think I agree with you, Jeff. I think use the old one up.
Yep.
And then if we have to rent one, we'd have to rent one, but I would think that we would want to use the old one if we can.
Is it being just used temporarily? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, just for the summer, until the new chiller's installed.
Oh, so the new one's gonna take.
Yeah, so we have to take apart the
Oh,
old
gotcha.
one, install the new one, but the new one won't be ready until school starts next year.
It's in the budget. It's
The new one goes on the
no-brainer.
Yep.
One will be installed on the roof. And this one would probably be somewhere by the sign for the summer.
I think,
If it's in the budget, I mean,
I mean, we, actually, if we can nurse that old one through, we'll be saving money.
And,
So-
and just so you guys know, a couple of these things, I was very conservative, and I said the board had approved these exact specs. So anything incremental to that needs to come back to the board, even though it's already been included in these numbers. And so, like, everything we're gonna see has already been included in that 250, but because we've approved a very specific scope, I wanted to make sure that any changes to that scope came back for discussion and approval.
Talked about transparent earlier, because if we just made a decision, air conditioner or no air conditioner, and in summer, something happened, you guys go, well, we didn't know about that. So we want to let you know right from the beginning that the decision being made and you're part of that decision. So if someone wonders why, you know about it.
Next item, but, let's do them separate, so any other, go ahead.
No, go ahead, you're good.
No, I was gonna ask any further questions.
So what's the, on the new chiller, what is the warranty on it?
I'd have to go look at it, not 100% sure.
Okay, I know, that's a little bit more nuts and bolts. And then, I guess I'd like to know too, from a maintenance standpoint, are we more apt to get a better, if we wanted to do a maintenance program on the chiller, say, whatever whatever the warranty is, and then past that, is that something that we should start talking about now? Is that something that we wait to do until, like, a year until the warranty expires? How does,
I think we could look at it now just to see what it might cost
Right.
at this particular moment, just so you have that information. I'm not sure we'd make a call right now.
Yeah,
but
no.
Definitely, I think we could look into that so you had information way earlier.
I think piece of,
Extended warranty?
well, not extended warranty, but like just a maintenance program, so that we know that we've got somebody coming every 6 months or every, just,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
We have a biannual maintenance program, PM maintenance program, both on the chillers as well as the
Okay,
boilers.
okay.
So they're looked at the beginning of their usable season and the end of their usable season for any potential issues, and plus make sure that that piece of equipment it's a little bit above what my certifications are in terms of the mechanical and the chiller. So we have maintained that for both the boilers and the chiller.
Right. I just from the fact that we kind of got burnt slightly on the chiller, we should have got chill on the chiller, but we kind of got burnt because taken, but is there something we can do to kind of protect ourselves? Maybe it's an upfront cost, but it's a lifelong or a 10-year, whatever it is. Maybe it's a savings of some sort that protects us so that we're not in 8, again, we had a bad experience with the chiller. That's why I asked.
100%. This last one had a 5-year warranty, just so you're aware.
Okay.
But there was offers for extended warranties in the beginning, so we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
It's an expensive piece.
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one we want to pull out of fun time.
No, not again. Yeah, so if there's something that we can do, I think we talk about it.
Yep. All right, any other questions on
Thank you.
chiller?
No.
All right, well then, based on, I'll take any cheapers, just went blank, motion, but, I would recommend a motion to approve the $91,000 option, however, recommend the reuse of the existing chiller.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 91,000 and the reuse of the old chiller, and also getting information on what, extended warranty or what kind of service programs cost.
I'll second that,
So
Joe.
we have a motion by Nate, seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we'll move on to furniture.
Like Jeff had said, one of the things that we acknowledged at the beginning of this process when we were looking at what are things that we need money for to get done in the school, we acknowledged that our furniture in our middle and high school classrooms, our 1950s desks, are outliving their life expectancy. We had put money aside in the operational referendum to be able to start replacing some of these things. This year alone, we've had to junk 6 desks, I think it was. 6 desks, because What's happening is, and Brian can explain it better than I can, is the way that the desks are built with the tops attached to the chairs is when the kids are sitting in them, large high school boys, they're bending, and so when they break, Brian welds them, and welds are now going, they've been welded and they're breaking, and we need to get some tables and chairs that fit our students. So one of the proposals that we have is to be able to purchase new tables and chairs, which is in your board packet, for our classrooms in the middle school and high school, excluding the middle school and high school science labs, so Mrs. Powers' lab and Mrs. Gregorio's, they've already had new furniture. The FCS room, which has already had new furniture, as well as Mrs. Liebenthal's room, which already has new tables and chairs. There was, within our furniture bid, like Jeff had said, with Findorf, or PRA, I think it was through, came in $100,000 under budget. And so one of the things that we would like to present to you is taking and ordering the furniture to be able to not only save money on shipping and installation, but to be able to get the furniture for our students, not only for their comfort, but also for their safety. See if there's anything else I wanted to add. That's all I have, so.
I'll just add one small thing, is there is an important accounting treatment to this, and so doing it this way allows us to use the money in the capital referendum and not part of Fund 10. Fund 10 is a much more flexible, so we actually had in our plans to buy some of this furniture anyways, except out of Fund 10, so this allows us to do this as part of this capital project, which again is still under budget, but then just gives us a little bit more flexibility with Fund 10. So again, I recommended this, and, again, questionable, do we need to bring it, but I made sure, because we're talking furniture not for the addition, this is for furniture outside of the addition. Exactly, yeah.
So it's already, it would be what's in here, like Jeff had said, is included in that 250,000 savings already.
Yeah, we had them plan this additional scope in there.
Where did we save the money from? I'm sorry.
So because we already have furniture coming for the new addition in the 3 classrooms, by ordering it now with the rest of it, we'll be able to save in our shipping and installation costs.
The initial furniture bid.
For
We
the
already
initial
had it.
furniture
It's
bid.
in the soft cost furniture budget. And we were under by 119,000, I think, on what was budgeted for furniture on the addition. So the plan was that this would just be part of that furniture budget.
Does that make sense, or no?
What's the classroom furniture?
That's for the new addition,
Oh,
right?
Sorry, what
That's
yeah,
old.
This piece of paper is for the new addition, and we're talking about for the existing school right now, correct?
So, Fran, what paper are you looking at? Oh,
Yeah, this is just updated from the last time we had one of these, and I kind of redid the bottom part of this now that we're starting the construction. The owner soft cost of 1.75 million, I don't have that with us tonight. I think I showed it to Finance Committee last time. But in that, we had like 220,000 or something like that for furniture. And the new furniture for the addition was only 100,000. So they want to take it out of that same furniture soft cost budget, and it's still less than what we had for budgeted for furniture.
that's not on here?
It's part of the 1.75 million.
Oh.
We just have started the soft cost, we haven't started spending on much of it yet. That'll be in your packet next month and show you where the soft costs are expected to go.
So what's the classroom furniture above?
That's money we were expecting to pay out of the operational referendum, the Fund 10. And we had 40,000 originally on there, and I put the 83,813 there as a final expected cost, because we didn't know at the time where we expected that money to be spent out of. So if we do spend this out of the referendum, that will reduce the amount of money we'd be taking for furniture out of the operational referendum.
I'm not sure the difference between those two numbers.
I'm not trying to make it difficult, I promise. The only question that I have is just on the last page, so grand total says 260,815.
Oh, 109.
Yeah, it's, the grand total's the far right one.
That's their
That-
list price?
Yeah.
List
Yep.
price.
Yep.
So it's 83,813.
All right, so the original is 83,813.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
67,
what she's
27.
asking you to
Okay, all right,
approve.
all right. Makes sense.
That's this number.
I was hooked up on the two, I was like.
Yeah.
83,813. Didn't you say 83,813 is the number?
In the bottom right on
Yeah.
page 505 in the packet.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused, because on this sheet it shows 83,813.
So that's what the furniture for the middle school, high school classrooms would be. And I'm not familiar with the other paper, I can't help with that.
So we had 40,000 as an estimate. It's 83,813 with an overage of 43,813, but we saved the money. Yeah, okay.
Right, so
I get
and
it.
our
But then
plan
they're-
is,
they're saying
our
it's in
plan was
here.
to always get it done, but in waves.
Yeah, right.
So we were
My
gonna
only-
do one wave with the
That's why
high
I'm
school with the
confused, 'cause I thought you said that
40,000,
number.
and then do the middle school in a second wave.
I'm down with it. My hang-up was the 260, the quarter.
believe
million.
they said we're under
Yeah, I was
I
like,
looked
what?
at that, I was like,
So
take
that
the
was my
word
only
for
hang-up.
price it for that and charge you 83. I don't, that makes no sense.
Yeah, sounds like a used car salesman.
No, I think this'll go away. This number will become part of that 1.75. And it's just kind of moving it where, again, that's kind of the front
Is-
end versus the capital.
It's in the middle of this sheet, because that's where we anticipated
Yeah.
originally to put it, and I couldn't move it out
I
of there.
believe you,
until
I
we-
was confused.
I couldn't move it out of there until you guys
You
approved
tell me
this.
it's under, I believe you.
Yeah.
So,
But in,
Just confused, that's all. They kept saying 883, I'm like, it's up there, but he said this number is in, that it's gonna be.
but it's not in Findorf's bid.
So that way we don't, then this.
So we're buying it direct?
It was on Findorf's, I mean, they gave us a nice schedule.
They
a
did,
couple
okay, I'm
weeks
sorry, then
ago.
I missed it, okay. All right,
Yeah,
all right,
outlining all these.
all right. So they're,
Correct, so this plus
okay,
40.
I'm good. I'm gonna trust it. We're good. Yep, I understand.
Okay.
My biggest hang-up was just that $250,000, like, what does that mean? So
Yeah.
I'm good, yep. Great job.
All right, any other questions? And let's just take that as a takeaway. There was a good couple slides in that Findorf presentation from last Friday. Maybe we'll bring them back next week and just kind of make sure we clear up kind of where everything is going.
You're saying for the pricing?
Yeah,
For the
just,
budgeting?
they
Yep.
did a nice job of saying, here's the 175, here's all the puts and takes, and even that sheet that showed, like, here's what we originally estimated, here's what we have spent now, and here's what's over and under. I think that would add all the clarity.
Yes.
the one in your packet, that's the one. That's the one we had before about this one?
Yeah.
That's what we had last month, that showed all that?
Yeah.
I just changed the bottom a little bit because now the capital referendum's actual, and I started separating that out from the up above for the operational, so that you see the two different things.
Yes.
So once we approve this, the 83 goes down at the
Yep,
bottom.
that gets erased up there, and we gotta find
It'll
where
be
it goes down
zero.
here.
It'll be negative 40,000. So that 40,000, our actuals will be zero.
So that up on top, that's, the cost from furniture is just gonna get wiped out, zero, not spending it.
Yeah.
Not, at least not out of the operational.
And the elementary wing, the 134.50, that is separate, that's separate from capital and operational.
That's
That
expected to pay out of the interest that we're earning on
interest
the.
out of the,
Yeah.
okay, yep, okay, all right,
That and the, chiller, that's where we're expecting to pay that from,
okay.
the
all right,
interest.
All right, that's correct, I appreciate that, thank you.
I'm sorry, but I'm just,
Yeah.
one question.
Sure.
So I know you got the 83 is gonna come down to the soft cost. So that leaves 40,000 for, it says classroom furniture, that's estimated for referendum.
In the
And
The first column.
operational.
that's just gonna be deleted, because that's no longer gonna be.
But wouldn't we be plus 40,000?
We are, the next line
Yes.
over says over under estimate,
Yeah, so
43,
that'll be,
13.
it'll say minus next time?
Yeah, it'll be minus 40,000. That'll be,
So
and
we're
then
just
there's
gonna be
another-
zero, or are we gonna be plus 40,000 up above? That's where I'm confused.
Well, 40,000 less that we planned on spending out of the operational referendum to do something different with.
So I'm gonna guess
So
this
the
would
plan
be
was
a red
40,
minus
actuals are
40. Yeah,
zero.
It's gonna be zero.
Comparison to
That's why
plan,
I'm
negative
confused.
40.
Yeah.
So once the
get
decisions
that?
get made today, there's a whole bunch of these sheets I can redo.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, well, I will take a motion to approve the additional furniture.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital referendum with the additional furniture.
I'll second that, Jeff.
Motion by Nate, seconded by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we'll move on to final bids.
You've got that in your packet. The Buildings and Grounds Committee went through it, and some of you were also in the Buildings and Grounds Committee that went through a bunch of questions on this. If you have more questions, we've got the gentleman up there who can hopefully answer this for you. But everything highlighted is the lowest bid.
So the recommendation is to go with the lowest bid and the highlight.
We've asked Findorf,
We vetted all of these contractors, they're the lowest bid, but they're also the lowest qualified bid, so very comfortable with the numbers that, the ones that are highlighted that are going in and having a successful project.
one of the questions we asked them, is there any reason we would not take one of these? They said, no, they're all qualified.
Any questions? All right, I will take a motion then to approve the final bids as highlighted that are presented.
I'll put a motion forward to accept the final capital referendum bids.
All right, motion by Ken. Do I have a second?
I'll second with a question. What do they all add up? I mean, all those add up. Is that number on this sheet?
We'll put that together with the guaranteed maximum price. These were all just the bids, but then we'll put that whole, when we sign the actual final number, that'll have the full everything, because there's self-performers.
Well, I just was asking if that's on this sheet, that's all. You probably didn't know that, but I didn't ask, I'm asking.
We
Jeff.
added these together, and they don't add up to the 7.2 million that this is
I'll
gonna
second
cost
it.
them.
I just was asking.
Because there are things that Findorf self-performs.
Okay.
Because I added all these up, and thought, well, if we can build it for this, let's do it, but there's stuff not in there.
That's why I added them up quickly. I added them up quickly too, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, well,
this
what
goes
are
4 million.
we?
We're
It's
gonna
not
do this for 4
making,
million,
we're like
guys.
way short
And
here.
maybe explain them what you're self-performing, and what you guys do that are self-performed.
Yeah, so we'll be self-performing concrete, masonry, steel, that's carpentry. There's not a ton of carpentry, but there is a little bit, but yeah, those are the main ones. And then operators, if there's a crane or something like that, we'll work through to make sure that they.
Yeah, because I added it up too, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I second it.
All right, we have a motion by Ken, seconded by Brent. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
What are you guys signatory to in this area?
In this area,
Yes.
we're signatory to the carpenters, the laborers, the masons, the cement finishers, the operators, and the ironworkers.
And what?
6 grade, ironworkers.
Oh, I remember.
All right, we will then move on to operational referendum purchases, which will start with the stage purchases.
In your packet, the first one you have is things for the stage. Maybe Greg want to explain to them what kind of things we'd be getting for that?
I borrowed that handout, I did not bring it. Thank you so much. Most of this is the lights in the MPR, replacing all of the lights that we have in the MPR with updated, modern fixtures. I had a friend of mine from UW Green Bay come down a couple years ago to help me with the lights when I first took this job, and just help us with the Adams family. And he looked at the lights that we had, and he said, haven't seen anything like this since the 80s. It's not being used anymore. In fact, in order to get all these lights, they actually have to retrofit a lot of our electrical, because they don't use this type of electrical hookups for lights anymore. It's all a different kind of electrical hookup. So the vast majority of the bid from Educators AV is all lights, and then a handful of it is wrapping up the audio equipments that we started. This is replacing 8 of our theater microphones and updating them to, again, more modern body packs and audio microphones. And then getting also new walkie-talkies for stage crew to utilize during musicals and plays and whatnot. I think I covered everything pretty briefly. So if you have any questions.
And I guess, just to put it in the context, this is stage second wave, so what we had the budget of 130 included in the operating referendum.
Yep,
Yes.
and these quotes include everything from lights and sound. The only thing they don't include is the curtains.
Okay.
The curtains would be a different company if we get there.
Okay.
And you see, this is cheaper than we expected for the second wave of the stage. And the total number there is installed, what you're approving is the bid for the equipment, and then we get it installed. So it's $109,474.64.
That's for the educators AV lights and sound, and then the rest of it is the electrical, and I can't remember, who that's.
But you're approving the bid to get the equipment, and then we get it installed.
Do we have that install price?
There's an install estimate there.
Is that from SNS?
Yep.
Yeah. $3,000.
So that's what brings it from 109 up to 112?
Yep. That gave us an estimate of what the installation would take to do for this.
Are we still looking for a curtain then, or are we keeping the curtain? Oh, well, I think you said everything except the curtain, so I didn't know if the curtain was still part of it.
Curtain was part of the original plan. I think we're going with this right now because the curtain was part of a different company, a different bid that I had gotten. So we're going forward with this now, and I think we're revisiting with the curtain if we can before the operational referendum is over. It's a completely different company. We wouldn't want them working in at the same time anyway.
Are we taking all the old stuff down?
Say that again?
Are we taking all the old stuff down?
Lights and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
The AV Educators AV, the company
in
with that bid, so they will take everything down. They tell me that this is what they'll do, not to say that it'll be successful. They take it all and then they try and resell it. And they resell it, they take a small commission for reselling it and they give us back the rest. Not saying that's gonna be successful with this old of lights, but you never know. There's always somebody looking for it.
Someone for the garage.
Yeah. I took a picture with Google Lens of our lights, one specific set of lights, and it brought it up as retro LED light bar. I don't think
I
that's
saw
correct.
that in here.
That was
Get that to me later, we can sell it, they will take 30%.
All right, any other questions on the second wave stage?
No questions.
Last thing, is installation of this, I spoke with them last week. If approved tonight, I think this would be done before the musical.
Oh, nice.
I think it's the month before, 1 month before it'll all be installed. So we have about a month to learn it.
How does that affect musical practice? You'll make it work.
Not really, we'll make it, yeah. Instead of using stage lights for a couple of weeks, we're just gonna use regular fluorescents for a couple of weeks, and it's just for practice.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the operational referendum stage purchase?
I'll make a motion to approve the operational referendum for stage purchases.
I'll second, Jeff.
Motion by Nate, seconded by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, on to networking.
$904 for, I'll let Jake explain what.
Yes, I'll paint a picture for you. About 11 years ago, a couple years before my time, Jim Maynard redid the entire network infrastructure here for about $85,000. That's about 20 plus switches. So with that said, I went out and got a few bids. Cisco is what I'm trained on, so the first bid I asked for was Cisco, which is around $95,000. So me and Dennis put $110,000 to the side in the operational referendum, if I'm correct, which that would cover 10 radios in the entire switch infrastructure. With that said, I went back to bid for 3 other manufacturers, which would be, I did, 3 other, Ruckus, I also did HP Aruba, and I did Juniper. With that, they're all between $60,000, $75,000, and $95,000. I did some research on HP Aruba, which we do have some HP equipment here, which is very good. Reached out to 10 other tech directors in the area that I meet with, and they all have Aruba, and they've had Aruba for 10 years. So I decided to go with HP Aruba as the best bid. So we brought it down from 110 to 61,000. With that comes installation. It comes 5 years of service and warranty and next day replacement. So for me, we're saving basically $40,000. So from my original, love to have Cisco, but I think at this point, I can spend a couple hours learning HP, probably in a day and get it all handled at that point. So my suggestion would be to go to the HP.
So this is also on that sheet that I showed you, that's the network switching tech upgrades. There's a little bit left that he wants to do, but it's a few thousand. So this is quite significantly less than we expected when we went to referendum. And this is again on the operational referendum.
How long will these last?
So, okay, so what you should know is the infrastructure we have now went out of warranty 4 years ago, but because I know Cisco pretty well, I was able to hang on to it for another 4 years. So 2022 was the last day of support for that. So we're still running on that now. We lost one over the summer. So I hope I can get between 7 and 10 years out of this infrastructure. I think I can get 7, but I think the last 3 years of Go 10 will be out of support. So I'll be on my own.
At some point, you gotta be careful, because the technology is gonna evolve so much, there's gonna be different bands, I mean, you're gonna need to spend it, because it goes out of date. And security's very real.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. A lot cheaper. All right, I will take a motion to approve the operational referendum network purchases.
I liked it so much, I'll approve the operational referendum network purchases.
All right, we have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
I'll just save this district $60,000.
Seconded by Guy.
And I appreciate you doing that to save the money, you know, and that
Absolutely.
makes a big difference.
I'll be honest, whenever the number came back, I was like, yeah, whatever. But the thing about Cisco you have to understand is that's like buying Nike versus Converse, you know what I mean? You're paying for a name, and if we were like, you know, AT&T or something like that, a big corporate, we would definitely need to go Cisco. But for what we do here, HP Aruba, we have more than enough support than what we need. Yeah.
All right, all those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we will talk about 24-25 financial audit.
So last month I gave you this handout for the audit, and you may have brought it with you. If you did, I'm looking at page 9. If not, you can look at that later. But this is the best place to find the summary of the year. And you've heard this number before, so you know it. But on page 9, in the first column, near the bottom, it says net change in fund balance, 89,109. So that's how much went back into fund balance this year. Again, that's page 9, left column. So that took our fund balance at the bottom of the page from 861,000 to 951,000. So that's the nuts and bolts, the net of all this, and where we ended up. The other thing you always want to mention is whatever findings they had, and if I would go to page 54, where they start those. Page 54. Yeah. On page 54, they go through the financial statements and look, and there are significant deficiencies. And the top one is a type of auditor's report issued on whether the financial statements audited were prepared in accordance with GAAP and internal control over financial reporting. This one is basically that we, Andrea and I don't create this document. We are not qualified to create this, so creating the statements that we have that deficiency, we can't do it, we have to pay someone to do it. There are school districts who have their own auditor or their own accountant. That's their job, and then with an accounting degree, they could put this together. We do not have someone on staff to do that, so the auditors help us do that. So it's the top two. That's both really the same thing. The creation of the documents. The one on the bottom, so that one pretty much is always going to be here. So it's never going to change. And the one on the bottom, the same thing. Lack of segregation of duties. This will also probably never change. We just had the WIA, we did their financial audit, and it's the same thing because you don't have enough people. So they want to hire more staff, and then you could have more spread out. So next year, we'll have Andrea and Colleen and Jennifer instead of me. But then I think with Kelsey now possibly coming from part-time aide to part-time, full-time aide to part-time aide and part-time administrative assistant. She will add another person, so you may have another person in the office who could be another person to segregate the duties. So it's possible that you might be able to get by this one, but you can see that the available office staff precludes proper segregation of duties and control areas reviewed. We always ask them, is there anything else we could do to separate? The duties even better, and they say, well, Rel, you pretty much have got it the best you can without extra staff. because we write out our methods of how we do things and give that to the auditors, and they work with us to segregate it out as much as possible, so it's as segregated as we can get with Colleen, Andrea, and I involved. So no one of us does anything full circle. And then most things have to come to my approval before it's actually finished. Even like I say, balancing, Andrea works on it, then Colleen gives some numbers, then I have to give the final approval.
Any questions?
No.
All right, Brent will make a motion to approve the final 24-25 audit report. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, John.
And we have a seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, moving on to determination for open enrollment.
Aye.
2024-25 audit report. Do I have a motion?
Aye.
Do I have a second?
Aye.
And we have a seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye. All those opposed. All right, moving on to determination for open enrollment.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.